What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and I got a request to vacuum my living room with the orange 12 amp Fury, so I'm doing that today. Now, the only reason why I haven't shown the 12 amp orange Fury in a while is for two reasons. Number one, the green Fury, the green 12 amp more specifically, is the one that I specifically got to use around the house, so it's the one that's going to get the most usage at all my Furies. And second of all, this Orange Fury, despite me putting a lot of work into it as far as making it all perfect and clean and all that, I decided not to run because it has a flaw with the top cover assembly where the left side doesn't like to actually fit down properly. So as a result, this edge is raised up a bit, and the brush roller causes the brush roller has a bit of play where it will slide up and down in the housing, which is not good when you're trying to push it on carpets because it's going to buzz up and down and potentially wear out the housing even more or wear out the brush roller. So while I couldn't find a way to shim it horizontally, what I did do is I took some pieces of zip ties. You can actually see what I'm talking about a little bit because you shouldn't be able to see the metal of the brush roller. It's supposed to sit down flush like this, but it's not. It's raised up, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's just warped, and obviously this is orange, so you can't find an orange cover. I'm wondering if... I know the dial I could easily swap with if I bought a replacement green top cover, but the headlight lens would be more complicated, and I wouldn't want to mess with this because these break very frequently and I don't want to ruin it. So I rather just have it be stock. So what I did was I shimmed the side of it with some very thin zip tie ends, so that way there's tension on the brush this way, so that way it's not tempted to slide up and down because there's some resistance. And if I tilt this back, which of course it sits on the couch perfectly because of the angled handle, so now, if you can see, I can still push this up a little bit, but I have to actually push it, and then I can obviously just pull it back down with the bristles, or at least I hope so. Or is there a gap there? I may have just messed it up again, because obviously I don't want to yank the brush roller too hard because I don't want to pull the bristles out of place. Either way, this isn't ideal, so again, this is not... I wouldn't run this as a daily or as for any extended period of time because of that. I think I just pulled it back because now the bristles are sticking out, so I'm trying to pull this back down. But yeah, so again, not ideal. Again, this is on the side that's opposite of the belt, so at least the belt isn't pulling it up. Because if the belt was pulling this up, then I wouldn't really be able to get the top cover on because this belt pulls. Also, this has a Eureka style U-belt on it. That's just what the person who sold this to me a while ago put on it. I haven't bothered to replace it because it runs fine, so, you know, what's wrong with that? This didn't have any attachments. I did put a set of attachments. I managed to get one pet hair tool adapter, so that sits on this orange one. It's a fluff trap, nothing in there. And this does have a replacement HEPA filter installed. It's from Endust, so it's not genuine Fantom, but it's a brand new filter. And it's going to stay that way because this isn't going to get much usage. And I don't want to put a used filter in here and then dirty up the one in one of my other Fantoms because I'd rather just get another HEPA filter. Although my daily Fantom does have a pretty old original HEPA filter in it that probably is due for changing. This one, though, doesn't have that problem. I believe there's a headlight in here, too. Oh, I guess I better show the sticker, which I believe I showed when I first got it, but I could be wrong. Just in case I didn't, here it is. Model number SFY251A, serial number 169925, and the date code is the 36th week of 2000. Now this one was assembled in the US, which is really nice. Made in New York, I believe. So very, very nice. I believe the orange was the Walmart edition. which of course doesn't make any sense. You would think the blue would be the Walmart, you would think the orange would be the Home Depot, but whatever. So, yeah, with that in mind, let's give it a run. Alright, so the interesting thing is I pre-vacuumed with the Stratos, and As you'd expect, again, people for some reason like to lie and pretend like these aren't good carpet cleaners. They are. They've always have been. It's never changed, but some people who just don't like Fantom, they will try to say that Fantoms don't clean well. But now, of course, filtration, dust cup design, after all, there is now dust on this, because dust always loves to get on the seals. Is this a sealed system? No, not exactly. Not even close. But, of course, you can see the fine dust coming out of the inner cyclone. I always wipe the gasket on carpet. So you can see this lovely orange max line. Lovely dual cyclone of the Fury. At least all the dust is on the front cover, not in this crack between the top cover and this, because it always falls in here, and then you get dust in there that you have to clean out every time you change the belt. That's a little annoying on these. And it was on the high setting as well. I could have put it on medium, but that'd be a little bit harder to push, and I don't really want to put extra tension on that belt. Because I already went through all the effort of getting this cover on, I don't want to have to mess with it again. So, one thing I will say is that even though this is probably externally one of the cleanest Furies I have, it still has that internal dusty smell that my 10 amp and my 12 amp that I just serviced don't have, because I cleaned them out. But this one, even though the person who sold this to me said that they cleaned it out to the motor, it doesn't smell like it was cleaned out to the motor, unless that's the belt failing, and that's what I'm smelling, because it's a dusty smell. It's not a burning smell, so I'm not sure what that is. And again, it's a brand new filter, so it's not the filter, so I'm not sure what that is. But again, it's not like I'm using this often enough for it to matter anyways, and it still doesn't smell as bad as many of my other old bagless machines. Not even close. So it's still, I could easily use, if I had to use this, it's not like the smell would be a deterrent. It's very minimal. It's enough to where, throw some centipedes down on the floor and be done with it. But we can see, look at this hamster. It's an entire hamster, or it's look at all of this hair. All of this hair. All of this. So, the Shark Dual Clean Power Fins Hair Pro, brand new $500 vacuum. Now, yes, I get it. Every vacuum will always find something, but this is not an insignificant amount of dirt for a small. What is this? Because remember, I only vacuumed over here, a little bit in there. There's a good chunk of this living room that I didn't actually vacuum. So again, all that hair even spun it into a nice little ball that we can visually see. And the fine dust. Again, so I don't like to touch dirt, but again, just look at this visual here. All this hair, all this fine dust that this machine managed to pull out. And I can feel the carpet is softer than it was prior to doing this. I'm not saying this is the best cleaning machine I have, because I don't think it's the best, but it's pretty damn good. So, yeah, I mean, again, very, very upsetting. We've got Fantom, 22-year-old Fantom, with admittedly a pretty good condition brush roller, but still an old brush roller, a worn out belt probably. You know what? No, let's not say that. This is probably close to optimal conditions. We've got a really good. We do have still a decent condition brush roller in here. The bristles look good. The bearings are good. So this is probably. It's still not going to perform as well as a new Fantom. I can tell the airflow is not as good as my other Fantom, so that's going to be its biggest weakness. is actually pulling air in through. But once the air pulls through the carpet, it's carrying a lot of stuff with it. So, again, very basic cyclone. And here's the hilarious thing. This 22-year-old vacuum with a with a 26-year-old design. No, actually, this is from 96. The Fury first came out in 96. So, extra 6 years on top of 20. That's a 28, almost 30-year-old design cyclone. And this 30-year-old design cyclone is more adequate at filtration than this brand new $500 machine. And the whole point of this is that it's supposed to not tangle with anything. Well, if you notice, Fantoms never really have problems with tangling with hair, at least not in my experience. I've never had issues with Fantoms getting tangled in hair. And this has Hair Pro technology, and I tried to suck up some bits of fabric from a chew toy that was chewed up. In fact, that Ruby chewed up, this was a Peep. It is not no more, but nevertheless, Hair Pro, right? And so this stuff is like hair, right? So it should suck it up no problem. Nope, it jammed the brush roller, started flashing red lights, got all jammed in the soft roller. I had to pull it apart and clean it out. Thankfully, you can remove the soft roller, but you can't remove the main roller. On this, you can. So, but you don't have to change any belts on this. And this has a brush roller shutoff. This does not. Instead, you have to use the floor nozzle, which, given that this doesn't have the best airflow, not the best, but it will get the job done. So yeah, pretty basic Fantom, and I'm sure there's probably some dust lodged up in here. I'm sure I could tap this and unlodge some dust out from the discharge chamber, but I don't need to do that. I think the point still stands. So yeah, pretty good. So maybe I should title this video, maybe instead of titling this video Orange Fantom Fury Vacuuming Living Room, I should title this kind of 22-year-old vacuum out clean a brand new $500 Shark. And the answer is an astounding yes. So yeah, good job, little buddy. You did good. So yeah, this is Intellitech Studios signing out. Let's get some more dust out of here. I think that's it. So yeah, this is Intellitech Studios signing out with Vacuuming Living Room with my orange 12 amp Fury. Now, if you're watching this video in the future, note that by the time you see this, I'm going to be at my cousin's wedding. So if I do miss uploads for a few days, that's why. So that is pretty much that. So I'm gonna try to schedule some. I'm trying to schedule some uploads. But if I don't, then you'll know why. So yeah, Orange Fantom Fury up and running. Even more so than it's running more, I'd say, because that brush roll is, the brush roll is still crippled because this side obviously does not have proper contact. This does. So again, I'm sure under optimal conditions, this Fury would be even better if it was a brand new Fury, which I would still love to get. I really want to find a brand new Fury, but I know I'm never going to find one, and even if I did, I know I sure as heck would not be able to afford it with how crazy the prices have gotten on these. But hey, I can still appreciate what I have. So, and hopefully you can too, if you have any vacuum that you like, Appreciate what you have, because sometimes, here's a good lesson for this video. Sometimes having something old doesn't mean that it's bad. If it works for you, and it does what you want it to do, then maybe you don't need to upgrade to something shiny and new. If you don't want to, then that money is better spent elsewhere. And I think that's a good lesson. Whether it's a car, a vacuum cleaner, a cell phone, a dishwasher. Do people upgrade their dishwashers? I don't know. game console, whatever the case may be. You don't have to have the shiniest and newest thing to have fun and enjoy life. I'm getting a little bit too philosophical, but I think you get the point. Anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out, vacuuming living room with the orange 12 amp Fantom Fury, and yes, this does outclean the brand new Shark Stratos. I think a much more interesting test would be to do this against the Dyson Ball Animal 3, especially since they're both in the matching copper color. So that would be fun. So like this video if you want to see that matchup, and I'll see you guys in the next one.